following is a presentation of HBO Sports.
Sometimes it's not the money, or titles, or fame that motivates a great fighter.
A big right hand by Barrera!
For Mexico's Marco Antonio Barrera, having suffered a devastating loss to Manny Pacquiao, vengeance is his driving force.
In order for Barrera to retire in peace, he has to beat Manny Pacquiao.
Manny Pacquiao has a different inspiration. For the Philippines' brightest star, every ring battle is backed by the hopes and dreams of an entire island nation.
Filipino star Manny Pacquiao is a storm!
In 2003, they met under different circumstances. Barrera, already a Mexican legend. Pacquiao, a virtual unknown.
He was a comer. You didn't know how good you were going to find out.
Barrera found out the hard way.
Hard left hand! Straight on the button by Pacquiao. Down goes Barrera.
From round to round, it just became more and more embarrassing for Marco.
Marco Antonio Barrera taking by far the worst physical beating of his career.
It was kind of chilling to watch because Barrera had never been in that position before.
He's gonna step into the ring. That's a good decision. Finally.
That night saw the birth of a Filipino idol. But is Pacquiao now becoming his own worst enemy?
If he doesn't get control of his life and his lifestyle, he's gonna have problems, yeah.
Our cameras traveled the world, from Mexico to the Philippines, following two all-time greats as they prepare for their long-awaited rematch. Does Marco Antonio Barrera have one more classic performance in him?
Big left hand by Barrera inside.
Barrera has to prove himself again, at least in his own mind.
Or will Pacquiao prove yet again he is one of boxing's best?
Manny Pacquiao will try to win this fight with speed, power, and committed violence.
Everybody he hits still getting knocked out.
Boom!
And he's still hitting everybody.
This is the countdown to Pacquiao Barrera 2. Hollywood, California, August 6th. Manny Pacquiao's first scheduled day of training camp for the rematch with Marco Antonio Barrera. Freddie Roach's wild card gym is filled with boxers, with one glaring exception, Manny Pacquiao. Pacquiao is home in the Philippines, and Roach, his trainer, doesn't know when he will arrive.
I'm not sure. The plane lands at 8 o'clock at night, and he was supposed to be on last night's flight, and I don't know if he's here yet. If he doesn't show up soon, we're giving Barrera a chance to win the fight.
El 6 de agosto yo estaba corriendo a las 7 de la mañana, empecé más temprano. Me aventé 3 semanas en la Ciudad de México, en las montañas, 3,200 metros el nivel del mar. El 6 de agosto ya estaba yo trabajando durísimo.
Eventually, if Manny doesn't come, they're gonna want me to go get him. I told him I'm not a babysitter. I said I'm not gonna go get Manny.
Roach wanted Pacquiao here by July, not only to begin training, but also to get away from the distractions of being the Philippines' most popular celebrity.
He's their biggest entertainer. He's their #1 athlete. He's their most famous public personality.
I think he's actually bigger than Michael Jordan to the Filipino than Jordan was to the Americans.
With Manny, whenever he's in the Philippines, he has so many commitments, and there's just so many people who want a piece of him.
He's got such an extended family of people who have absolutely no business being around him, who are there, and they are a distraction.
It's very difficult for him to say no to people. So those were some of the reasons that he was late in leaving for the U.S.
But the Philippine media reported other reasons for his delay in getting to the U.S. Accusations Pacquiao denies and will not talk about on camera.
There's been rumors with Manny Pacquiao, with perhaps that he has a gambling problem.
Whether it's because of gambling or partying or shooting pool or drinking beer, he's been rumored to have done all those things to excess. It's abundantly clear that Manny has just as much difficulty making plane flights as he does anything in his life.
Chaos is part of Manny Pacquiao's mindset. He sort of lives the way he fights, and he's apt to make some rash decisions or poor decisions.
This is part of the romance of Manny Pacquiao. He's very unpredictable and probably a nightmare for his trainer and his handlers outside the ring. And then he goes into the ring and knocks the opponent out and makes it all look as though it's irrelevant to his fighting success.
I keep telling him it's going to catch up with you sooner or later, but hopefully not this time.
Meanwhile, over 8,000 miles away in Guadalajara, Mexico, his opponent Marco Antonio Barrera wasn't buying into all the media speculation.
Yo pienso que es una estrategia que ellos traen. Aquí en el boxeo no hay más que eso. Aquí son puras mentiras. Aquí estamos trabajando, nos estamos levantando, estamos corriendo y estamos haciendo el trabajo para salir a ganar y no creer en todos los cuentos que hay. O sea, no hay.
With Barrera's camp in full swing, Pacquiao finally arrived in Los Angeles to begin training on August 8th, over a month late and without explanation. August 10th, hours after the press conference to announce the fight, chaos reigned once again. Pacquiao was suddenly on his way back to the Philippines.
I get the report that night that he was on the plane home. So that really was a surprise.
This guy seems to get himself in some crazy situations and laughs his way out of it.
Manny will be Manny at times, and if I'm not in front of him, he doesn't always listen.
Back in 2003, before their first fight, their roles were reversed. It was Pacquiao's training that ran like clockwork, while Barrera's camp was in turmoil. The normally focused Barrera was forced to deal with out-of-the-ring distractions.
He had to deal with media inquisition for weeks prior to that fight about the revelation that he had a metal plate in his head.
In 1997, Barrera had brain surgery to remove a small group of malformed blood vessels. In 2003, 6 years and 16 fights had passed, and the news was out.
There was a lot of controversy swirling around him as to whether or not he should be fighting post-brain operation.
Fue muy desgastante de hospital en hospital que te metieran medio de contraste. A Comisión de Nevada le dije, mira, ¿qué más examen quieres? La pelea que tuve en el 2000 con Eddie Morales. Fue una pelea salvaje y cualquier reacción, cualquier cosa hubiera salido. Pero ya cuando nos estaban hablando para decirnos, ¿sabes qué? Si peleas, Pacquiao, estábamos evacuando a Big Bear porque se estaba quemando.
Forest fires raged in picturesque Big Bear, California, where Barrera was training for Pacquiao. His camp was forced to move, costing him valuable training time. Barrera's trainer, Sendai Tanaka, remembers.
Siempre como de Marco lo hace como de 150, 200 rounds de sparring, pero esa pelea fue como de menos que 50 rounds. No tenían tiempo para trabajar, no estaba listo para pelear a ese momento.
Not ideal conditions, even for a future first ballot Hall of Famer.
Certainly Marco Antonio Barrera was by far the more known commodity before the first time they fought. He had beaten Prince Nassim Ahmed. He had beaten Eric Morales. He had already gunned down superstars on his way to the place where he was at that time.
And what comes along? A southpaw from the Philippines that could punch like hell, that nobody knew anything about.
Most of the people prayed that he would win, but deep down in their hearts, they didn't expect him to win.
I think there are two Filipinos only, my manager and my trainer. They believe that I'm gonna win.
And here was this kind of I thought a bit of an overrated offensive dynamo who was one-dimensional, moving up to fight Marco Antonio Barrera. Well, boy, this guy's going to get his comeuppance, and I couldn't have been more wrong. It was a demolition.
One-sided.
Shocking.
He was on. Plain and simple.
There are probably some in this arena who didn't really know who Manny Pacquiao was.
We're going to push him every minute of every round.
He's fighting at a slow pace. I want you to pick it up a little bit for me, okay?
And make him fight every minute of every round. And that's what we did.
To me, it looked like if those guys fought 100 times, the same thing's going to happen 100 times.
De hecho, mi hermano la quería parar desde el sexto.
Jorge Barrera was the assistant trainer that night.
Fue algo muy difícil para mí. Él es mi hermano. Yo lo quiero mucho y no hay necesidad de que él agarre más golpes que a la larga le pueden afectar.
Pacquiao just hammered him. Just hammering him.
Pegando la voy a parar. No, dame chance otros 2 rounds más. Yo decía, algo tengo que hacer, ¿no? Pues yo tampoco le reclamé porque pues al fin de cuentas es mi hermano y sabe por qué hizo las cosas.
That's the most desperate look I've ever seen on Marco Antonio's face. The irresistible force of Manny Pacquiao. Barrera's corner man is up on the apron. He's going to step into the ring.
No me sentía yo mismo, no podía, yo llegaba a mi esquina y decía, no puedo hacer nada, no sé qué está pasando.
While Marco Antonio Barrera was forced to pick up the pieces, Manny Pacquiao had arrived.
Everything changed after that first Barrera fight. He's a hero, he's an icon.
They just went crazy, absolutely crazy. The motorcade he got was unbelievable. Literally millions of people came out to greet him, shouting, hero, idol, idol. And overnight, he was a sensation.
Pacquiao, to his credit, he only fought big fights after Barrera. And then he takes on El Terrible, Eric Morales.
Pacquiao and Morales fought a thrilling trilogy. Pacquiao lost the first matchup by decision, but came back to score devastating knockout victories over the Mexican legend in the next 2 fights.
Manny Pacquiao goes to another level.
Because of those fights, Pacquiao's fame now extends outside the ring. He is also a singer and an actor in his spare time. Last spring in the Philippines, he added politician to his resume in a bid for a congressional seat.
As early as about 8 or 9 years ago, he told us then that he wanted to enter politics because he wanted to serve his people.
A lot of people in my place that need help, especially poor people, and I want to help them.
Pacquiao lost the election, but didn't lose his status as a national hero.
He inspires people, he gives pride to the country. They were not willing to give him up as a champion boxer to serve in the government, and that's the real reason why he didn't win.
When there's a Pacquiao fight, this nation comes together as one, and he is the single strongest unifying factor in the country today.
Cebu City, Philippines, part of an island nation of over 85 million people. On August 10th, Manny Pacquiao left the Los Angeles press conference and flew directly here to train for the Barrera rematch. It's a controversial move that begged the question, why?
There was a big report that me and Manny had an argument or something, but that never happened.
I told to my team already that before the press conference happened in LA, I told them that I will be back in the Philippines to start training.
When Freddie Roach was asked if he knew about the planned move, he gave a different answer.
No. For him to fly back, I was really surprised.
Speculation was that Pacquiao's move was a reaction to Roach's decision to train Oscar De La Hoya in Puerto Rico last spring for his mega fight with Floyd Mayweather. Because of that, Pacquiao was without Roach in his camp before his fight with Jorge Solis.
Sometimes I feel maybe he's testing me a little bit because I went away for Oscar. Will he go away for me? I'm not sure, but sometimes that thought runs through my mind.
Roach did wind up following Pacquiao to the Philippines on August 14th.
It was time to start work. I said, okay, we just can't have any distractions, and he agreed to it, and so we're here.
Guadalajara, Mexico. An ordinary boxing gym, but home to an extraordinary fighter. Today, Marco Antonio Barrera trains for Manny Pacquiao with a passion he hasn't felt in quite a while.
Se ponga a entrenar porque no la lleva tan fácil como los comentarios y las apuestas dicen.
That fire seemed to be missing in Barrera's last fight. In March, he lost a unanimous decision to fellow Mexican Juan Manuel Marquez.
Juan Manuel fue a hacer nada más un trabajo para pelear, no más. Hay veces que llegaba y decía, no, hoy no boxeo, hoy más despacio, y así pasó. Y la motivación de ahora es muy diferente.
While Barrera's fervor may be back, his longtime trainer, Rudy Perez, is not. Missing from Barrera's corner for the first time in his professional career.
Llevamos 20 y tantos años trabajando, yo creo Rudy es como mi segundo papá y yo creo que, como él me dijo, es que ya mi capacidad no da para más. Pero si Rudy me llama y me dice, Marco, quiero estar en tu esquina, adelante, él sabe que es parte de la familia.
It really doesn't seem to be a positive statement for Marco that he would be separated from a guy who's been associated with all of his great successes going into a fight like this. At the very least, it leaves a giant question mark in his corner.
Barrera hopes the answer lies in this duo. Assistant trainer of 12 years, Sendai Tanaka, and Marco's brother Jorge, each untested as lead trainers in a fight of this magnitude.
Él me dijo, ¿tú crees que puedas con la responsabilidad? ¿Tú crees que con Sendai tú vamos a ganar la pelea? Te lo aseguro, le digo.
Marco has always respected him as somebody who knows boxing and understands what a fighter goes through. 6 or 7 years ago, Barrera begun to box more, and hand speed became more important to Barrera than just sheer volume punching or hard punches. And I think Tanaka's mitt work and his various exercises that he takes Barrera through, I think it's helped Barrera a lot.
Besides his new pair of trainers, there's another change for Barrera. For only the second time in his career, he trains at home in Guadalajara.
Marco Antonio tiene 5 años, ella se llama Jimena, va a cumplir 13. Y Mariano tiene 10 meses. Cuando estábamos en Big Bear me encerraba aburrido pensando en ellos, qué estaba pasando. Por ejemplo, estaba hablando con mi mujer y lloraba uno de mis hijos. ¿Qué pasó? ¿Qué le sucedió? Ya aquí yo lo veo, entonces estoy más tranquilo.
Being home may be more relaxing for Marco, but not for his wife Sandra. It means cooking and cleaning for up to 20 men in Barrera's camp.
Me siento como madre de los 20, pues porque llegan todos a pedir de comer, nada más se sientan y uno les tiene que servir, que recoger los platos, que lavar los trastes y ya ellos agarran y gracias y se van.
Much like Marco Antonio Barrera, Manny Pacquiao and his family enjoy the benefits of training so close to home.
Yeah.
His wife Jinky and their daughter Mary Divine Grace have been frequent visitors to camp.
I like it, yeah. With my daughter, wants to see his dad,
I feel bad, sometimes because I don't have time to my family. But I promise them that after my boxing career, I will give my whole attention to them.
Manny and Jinky were married long before he became a national icon. For Jinky, life in the spotlight can take its toll.
Our life is not normal like we're together before. Now is so many people around us, so many fans. Sometimes the privacy is not there.
but she's a really strong woman. It's incredible how she takes all the ups and downs and all the pressures of being the wife of Manny Pacquiao. It's not easy, but she does a really great job.
I like her because she's understanding wife.
Sometimes.
Many training camps are isolated to get the fighter focused and in shape. But Pacquiao seems to enjoy training among his family and countrymen.
I'm not distracted, you know. I'm okay. Every time I jog, many people want to take a picture with me. I'm enjoying it. I like that.
Camp's going well, and you know, one thing about Pacquiao, when he gets in training mode, he is a machine.
As the countdown to Pacquiao-Barrera comes to an end, so do the training camps. Manny Pacquiao has recently relocated to the United States. And as Marco Antonio Barrera's camp winds down, it's obvious this will be one of the last times we see this all-time great.
De hecho, para agarrar esta pelea, yo les pedí permiso todavía a mis padres y a mi familia para decirles, pues denme chance, ¿no? Yo quiero esta pelea, o sea, yo la quiero. Y me dieron la oportunidad.
The opportunity is October 6th, when a battle-tested warrior who's been counted out before enters the ring looking for revenge.
Marco Antonio Barrera has had a burning desire to fight Manny Pacquiao ever since their first fight. And he wanted another chance to prove that he could beat this guy.
If Marco Antonio Barrera pulls off this upset, there's really nothing to compare it to. It's a special type of upset.
I think he knows as much about how to fight as any man alive. But you cannot expect Marco Antonio Barrera to be the physically superior fighter against Manny Pacquiao.
A guy like Manny Pacquiao, he's so explosive. He's so frenetic. When the momentum is his in a fight, he's damn near unstoppable. The question is, will Manny Pacquiao come in at his absolute peak?
He could be a politician, he could be a movie star, he might be all those things now. That could be Barrera's best chance, that those things all conspire against him.
Manny Pacquiao is not supposed to lose this fight. And if he does, his status plummets.
So the question is, can Pacquiao be as hungry as Barrera? And that remains to be seen.
The 130-pound rematch between Manny Pacquiao and Marco Antonio Barrera takes place Saturday, October 6th on HBO pay-per-view. And November 3rd, don't miss the 168-pound unification bout between champions Joe Calzaghe and Miguel Kessler. Live on HBO from Cardiff, Wales.
This has been a presentation of HBO Sports.